everyone, welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn series. We're going to be continuing on from last time, where we were introduced to Vahana Ayashi, a young adventurer who made his way to Gridania just to do a couple of quests. He ended up helping a bunch of people in Gridania, including saving a Copperbell egg, falling off a giant log, or just doing the occasional monster killing to save a carriage. But he also encountered strange events involving a shadowy figure who, as referred to by our two new friends, Ida and Papalimo, are called Asians. These shadowy, troublesome people who come around and do a lot of terrible things. Alongside this, we also had an audience of E Senna taking part in the festival called Green Bliss, I think, something along those lines, and we ended up becoming the emissary for it because of our deeds to protect the Guardian Tree. With that, we were also shown that we had an ability, which hasn't been announced its name yet, but I will say what it is. It's not really a massive spoiler. It's called the Echo, where we were able to glimpse into the past. We saw E Senna with the other two leaders of Eorzea on the day of Dalamud's fall, and found out that they were being watched by an Asian who wishes for the true world to be returned. What that is, we'll find out. It may be like 3 expansions from now, but we will find out. But for now, we're going to go and speak to E Senna about something, because she's got something she wants to talk to us about. And this is going to be a more action-oriented episode, because there's going to be 3 dungeons in this episode we're going to be going through. I think at this point, all episodes are going to have some manner of dungeon in them. I think. I don't think there's any that don't have a dungeon, for the most part. But this episode definitely is going to have a dungeon. I think the next one won't, but it's going to have the first trial in it. Technically the first trial. We'll talk about that in a bit. It's not really the first trial. Realm Reborn trials are a little bit weird before the patches, and I'll explain them when we get there. But yeah, we're finally going to be leaving Gridania. I would say the first few quests are very slow, but I would also say that that's not really out of the weird for Final Fantasy XIV and Realm Reborn. They're going to be a bit boring, and that's something I'm going to have to get through. Like I said, I'm going to be cutting out a bunch of the fluff of me going around killing certain things, mainly just focusing on the story for the most part, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, we're going to be going to a place that we will be returning to many, many times in the future. The Lotus Stand. Hey, what's going on over here, guys? You called upon me? Wow, an audience of E Senna 3 times in a row? This is amazing. How's it going? I'm Vahana. I'm wearing some new clothes. As you can see, I'm wearing the green and the red. Oh, I don't think you care, do you? Not really. Okay, let's talk. I have looked forward to your coming, Vahana, but tell me, are you recovered? I am most glad of that. You did faint in the middle of the ceremony and made it all about you, of course, but, you know, it's fine. I am most glad of that. Now, I hope you will not doubt the earnestness of my concern, but I would ask a favour of you, nor can I deny that I summoned you here in part with this in mind. Know, however, that I proceed only upon the understanding that you are rested and well. I mean, that was all last episode, so yes. And we're going to need our energy for this episode, because there's going to be a lot of stuff we're doing. Thank you for hearing me out. The Gridanian Envoy. E Senna would entrust you with a task of great import. It's going to be a voice cutscene. I have written a letter to my counterparts in the Eorzean Alliance. Okay, I need to get that little bit of nasal out of the voice, because that's Ishtola's voice, a character we have not met yet. The Battle of Cartenau and the calamity that followed claimed countless souls and left countless more bereft and alone. In the dark days that followed, many were the survivors who thought themselves less fortunate than the dead. You were left in a destroyed world. I mean, it makes sense. 5 years have come and gone, but the land and the people still bear the wounds of the devastation. Nor are we any closer to learning the fate of the warrior of light. Warriors, sorry. I should have spoken in plural. Yet so long as we live, never must we give up hope. We owe this to those who lay down their lives, that we might behold another dawn. In remembrance of them, a memorial service will soon be held upon the anniversary of the Battle of Cartenau. This missive bears the details of that service, so I will explain into some context behind Cartenau here. There's not really something really going into much detail until Stormblood, or the Heavensward patches. Cartenau is the place where one of the PvP events takes place, called Secure, I think. Secure takes place in the ruins of Cartenau, where there's a lot of old ancient ruins we don't know the names of yet, but I will explain them later on. I was thinking of doing the Binding Coils of Bahamut in this, but I think that's probably going to be something additional we do to the karma system, maybe, depending on how things go, but we'll see. This missive bears the details of that service. You graciously accepted the part of a emissary in the recent ceremony. Should you be so willing, I would now make you my envoy and have you bear my message to our allies. Your dedication to the people of Gridania rouses fond memories in me, and I would choose no other for the role. You just hear that guy from last time, the leader of the archers. What the fuck? I've known you my entire life, Senna. Will you do this for me? Please silence him. Ah! I will do that. Humbly, I thank you. As you are no doubt aware, our partners in the Eorzean Alliance lie some considerable distance away, nor are Older and Limsa Lominsa close to one another. I mean, Limsa Lominsa is on its own island. Yet fear not, for I have no intention of subjecting you, mine own newly anointed envoy, to a journey which would take weeks by land. You will never feel that journey to take weeks. All of your journeys are going to feel instantaneous, outside of when you travel by boat. No, I mean you to travel by air. Receive of me this airship pass. With it you make use of the skyways that connect the three city-states of the Alliance. So fun fact, you can go to Vanillin. It's quite easy to do that by walking down to South Shroud. I don't remember if it's blocked off from you before you do this quest. It might not be. But I do find it funny that Senna brings up here. The distance is so far, it would take you a number of weeks to get there, when Fanalan is literally like to the south. Take about 10 minutes to walk down there. There is like an expectation, and I think this is the same with a lot of games and RPGs, that you are travelling much further than you actually are. The only games where it doesn't feel like that is in Xenoblade, where they build these massive maps and you can really feel the distance in that game. But in games like this, especially with how the areas are segmented, you just gotta kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit. It gets a little bit better in the later patches, in the later content, sorry, in Heavensward and Stormblood, but even then, they're segmented areas meant to be like keynotes of what the area would actually be, I think. The airship landing is situated upon the lower level of the car line canopy. Simply show your pass and you'll be admitted to the departure area. Before you embark upon your journey, however, you would do well to seek the worldly wisdom of Miriam. Few forest-born Gridanians know more of the lands beyond the Twelveswood than she. She is all of our mothers. Like biological mother or just metaphorical mother? Yes. In better times, airships were available for the convenience of one and all. Alas, the risk that our crafts may fall to Imperial attack has forced a reduction in the number of flights. Consequently, it has become necessary to restrict air travel to only those whose need is great. Such individuals may petition the relevant parties to be issued an airship pass. As you may have deduced, I myself am one such party. Now, I can hear you bringing up the question right now. Why are airships a thing if aetheryte crystals exist? Now, there is something the game doesn't really go into, but I think it's mentioned in the book they made for Realm Reborn. The crystals impart a certain level of ether sickness, if you are low in ether, it's difficult to use crystals. Thus, they have these more neutral means of travel, like airships and carriages. It is more so a failsafe than anything else, like going to a new land and putting an aetheryte there. It is also worth mentioning you can only teleport to an aetheryte that you have already attuned to. So, since we haven't attuned to Older or Limsa, we can't just teleport there. We need to go there first, attune, and then we can quick travel between them. And then the third point is it's a video game. If you had to take the airship everywhere, that would suck. It's not like Final Fantasy XI, where it takes 30 minutes to go on a boat to go between Windurst and Bastock. Yet, I was not alone in desiring that you be granted the privilege of air travel. Such is the potential you show. You can punch a man in the face, Rahana. You can do that pretty well. We have no doubt that We have no doubt but that you will reward our faith in you, Rahana. That was a very tricky sentence. I hope I tricked you up on it. By the power vested in me, I bid you journey forth as my envoy into the great realm of Eorzea. Walk her fields, brave her seas, and strive to know her better. And wheresoever you go, go without fear, for the past shall ever be revealed to those who are true of heart. Guided by the crystal's light, set forth and discover your destiny. Do the elementals get jealous that you also worship Eidolon? I wonder. Like, the elementals, again, are a different group of gods, as they are described in this game. There's an implication there that they are different to Eidolon. And again, the game has never gone into great details about how the elementals work. We had a whole Alliance raid series about the actual gods, like Nothaka, Helone, all of them, but we never got anything for the elementals, which is kind of sad. It feels like a plot point that just kind of dropped, and it kind of takes away a bit from Gridanian a little bit, I feel, where you don't feel the true severity of the situation because the elementals never do anything. They're just kind of there. Also, I'm going the wrong way. Hi Miriam, how's it going? This is the last time I'm going to talk for you for a bit. Not as long as you'd think, though. 'Tis good to see you up and about, Rahana. Tell me, did you pay the elder Seedsayer a visit as I bade? Yeah, she told me I'm leaving. Appointed personal envoy, ha ha ha. Let's give you a good clap, shall we? No, stop it, stop embarrassing me, Mum. Jesus. And now you are to bear the elder Seedsayer's missive to our allies. Well, it seems you made an impression on the great woman. I can't argue with her judgment, though. You've earned this honor with tireless hard work, and anyone who says you don't deserve it had better not do so in my hearing, or they'll soon be calling me Mother for a different reason. I find myself praising you often of late, but Mother is truly proud of you. Oh, thank you, Mum. I'm so happy. Short of a warrior of light, I can imagine no better adventurer to represent us, and that, my lad, is some compliment. I better well hope so. I spent 3 hours here last time. Smile. But I flattered you enough for now, and I don't want your head to get too big, or you'll struggle to lug it around the realm. Speaking of which, Eorzea is a big old place. Now that you have an airship pass, you can really start to broaden your horizons. The sky is quite literally the limit. Even if your errand didn't call for it, I would strongly suggest visiting the 2 other city-states of the Alliance before you go anywhere else. They are, of course, Limsa Lominsa, City of Pirates, and Older, Jewel of the Desert. Once you've acquainted yourself with them, you can turn your sights on whichever less trodden region takes your fancy. That is a lie. That is a massive lie. We're not going to be leaving Eorzea for this and the next expansion. The calamity changed the face of Eorzea, and much of her now lies in shadow, but beyond man's ken. It's a veritable playground for a wide-eyed adventurer like your good self. Oh, you're going to miss me. Mind you, it won't all be fun and games. Each nation faces its fair share of troubles, from internal strife to conflict with the beast tribes and their primals. So don't be too surprised if you find yourself embroiled in the odd unsavory situation on your travels. I'm still freelance though, so I can decide if I do stuff or not. I mean, I can't because this is the MSQ, but it's nice to have that option in there, isn't it? But no matter what difficulties you encounter, I am confident that you will pull through and emerge the stronger for the experience. These are interesting times for Eorzea, Rahana. It's been 5 years now since the calamity, but folks are finally beginning to look to the future. A period of great change is upon us, and you have a part to play in it, and if that prospect doesn't excite you, I don't know what will. I'm excited. I'm excited! Look how excited I am. I'm so excited to do this. Let's go out into the world and explore it. Yes, adventure. Let's do it. Ah! Okay, well, that joke didn't go anywhere, did it? Right, let's do as she says and go speak to Linnaeus. I think that's how you say that word. Linnaeus, or maybe Linnaeus, I think. Linnaeus, hi. I would like your finest airship, please. Greetings, good sir. This is your reservation counter for Limsa Laminza bound flights. Oh, are you not Rahana Ayashi, the Elder Seedseer's personal envoy? We at Highwind Skyways are honored to serve you. Will you be flying with us today? Yes. Probably don't get that many people, do you? So, yeah, I'm gonna go first class, baby. It's cool seeing airships in this game. Spoilers. I think the last time I've taken an airship was probably Heavensward. Like, it is not a requirement at all after you get teleportation and flying. It's there as like an artifact of the former game and what was once kind of the main route of traveling. And also FF11, as I mentioned before, Final Fantasy XI was very based in ground travel. There wasn't any teleporting, there wasn't really any flying necessarily, it was all based on boats, carriages, that kind of thing. And it kind of feels like after Final Fantasy XII that they realised, oh wait, airships are a grand idea, why don't we do that? I still remember that one quest in Final Fantasy XII where I was going between all those airships. It was a fun game. I did enjoy my time with Final Fantasy XII. A lot of good side quests in there. Attention all passengers, the airship bound for Limsa Laminza is about to depart. Please make your way to the boarding gate. That's got to be the most generic looking here I've seen in the game. You can't go on here. The music! I know now because I played more Final Fantasy games. It's the main theme. Oh no, I think they've reunited. I don't think they're saying goodbye. I was going to say, because the airship's leaving. We're leaving. Oh my god. Maybe I need to sit down? Ah! Ah! Like, that's not like horizontal. That's like 45 degrees. I'll be falling over. Oh, well, they're dead. Oh, well, we're going to leave now. Cool shot. Farewell, Rahana. We are probably going to be seeing you very soon, to be fair. We're not going to be leaving long. One day, minstrels will sing of your deeds. Oh, that's cute, considering that is what happens. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Look at all our lads! Get out of here, leave! You caused such a disturbance. You've ruined my private time with Senna. Probably for the best I left. I was stirring up a pot of problems, I feel. Alright. Castrum Occupants. Wow, you don't usually get title cards in this. Like, you usually get like a black screen, and meanwhile, in this area, again, showing how different Realm Reborn is to other expansions. Oh, shit. Who are these lads? These fucks. They look not evil.
Years, but the bitter taste of defeat.
Oh, it's weird. This is a cutscene from 1.0.
Set course for Mordona, led by the Agrios. mightiest of all.
So yeah, all this that is occurring right now happens at the beginning of 1.0, I think. This is 1.0 cinematic. And a pretty important event happens here. They don't really describe it until the patches, but I will say it now. There was a dragon in Ishgard called Midgard Sorma, and this dragon connects itself to this thing. And yes, they defeated the Lord Among Worms, Midgard Sorma, but they also lost their airship.
Our invincible flagship is lost, and all hope of victory with her.
It's a cool way to begin a Realm Reborn though, or not Realm Reborn 1.0. And we will be seeing that soon, because that's something that you see in Mordona.
Eorzea, a blighted realm, riddled with false gods. Twice now it has eluded the Empire's grasp. For all the destruction it wrought, even Meteor, the great sin, failed to yield us control over it. And for this failure, the realm has sunk deeper into depravity. It is twisted beyond all reckoning, rotten nigh to the core.
But it's got Moogles. How can any place with Moogles be rotten?
Yet it must be saved. Only Garlean rule can bring order to Eorzea. It falls to us to deliver the misguided masses from their ignorance.
We are of one mind, Lord Van Balthar.
Keep Westwind himself, and the other two are also important as well. Oh shit. What could that be, I wonder? Got a big old tail.
Senior engineers, please report to Magitech research following scheduled
I do not remember this analogy in Garlean stuff at all. No, I do kind of remember them a little bit. They don't appear in Stormblood though.
Hey, is the Legatus really planning to take another tilt at Eorzea?
Hey? What hole have you been hiding in? We're in the midst of preparing for a new campaign, and a huge one at that.
But I thought the Emperor had given up the Western lands for lost after Cartenau. What could the Legatus possibly hope to gain by acting alone?
I sense you harbor certain doubts over the wisdom of the Legatus's plan.
Oh, who's this sexy man? The sexy voice. Oh! So,
My lord!
you can tell if it's a Garlean, because an actual person from Garlean, Garlemald, because they have a little rock in their head in the middle of their forehead, and all Garleans have them.
Please, call me Nero. Tell me, where were you born?
It's weird hearing him with a voice.
Othard, my lord.
Offhard. Oh! That's cool.
Alamigo, my lord.
That's also cool. So they were planning it from this point.
Ah, codename Hummingway, I presume.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah. I mean, we knew that was all like sort of saying random
don't know
words
what
and they
you-
weren't going to be important.
Silence. Your denials will not change your fate.
Just because he
I
comes from
assure you,
Alamigo.
Frumentarium sees all.
Damn. No mercy. Didn't even get his sword bloody.
Clean up this mess, and do not miss any, or I shall be most displeased.
I mean, there was no blood. I don't think you killed in person. I think you just killed a robot or something.
At once, my lord.
He killed my best mate! There we go. Put my weird, like, Legend of Dragoon helmet on.
Soon you will be made to know the true power.
How do you see out of that thing? Like, the fangs go over your eyes. It's a bit goofy. So, the armor design in this is based on Final Fantasy XII's armor design. There's actually a lot of similarities between this and 12, just in terms of the Guardians anyway. The Empire in 12 has similar armor. I forget what they're called, but they're certain like higher-ups in the army. And to be fair, 12's story is not its strong point, but I like the world building that is put in place. I think it's far better in tactics. We can set in the same world. But here we are. We're in Limsa Lominsa. A place where I was thinking of maybe starting the storyline, but yeah, we're going to try and avoid the central deck here. You know, the central deck is does have certain memes associated with it. It's where people usually hang out and crazy things will happen. There was always the Balmung meme when it came to don't hang out in order in certain places, but there's also the Limsa central deck. It's where people spend the most of the time. It's also where the closest markets are, hence why people tend to be down there, as opposed to Gridania. There are people in Gridania. There's usually like music in Gridania, and there are bands and streamers who do full concerts in Limsa sometimes, which is fun. Hi, must be the Envoy from Gridania. Welcome to Limsa Lominsa, my lord. Admiral Blowfishfun waits your arrival. It's Blowfish. It's Blowfish Fun. And yeah, they made her name impossible on purpose, I feel. You are the Gridanian Envoy. Welcome to Limsa Lominsa. The Admiral has been looking forward to your arrival. Please proceed to the crow's lift at your earliest convenience. It will take you to Bulwark Hall. Once there, pray speak as Zanfail. You'll be pleased to show you in on the Admiral's command room on the bridge. I do enjoy Limsa a lot. It's always a difficult question deciding on my favourite city state. I think it is between Limsa and Ul'dah though. I like Gridania a lot, but again, the story didn't really do a whole lot of it in the story, which is why I kind of prefer the other two, because there are plot lines that take place here. Ul'dah is probably the most important city state. It's the one that gets the most amount of screen time, and it's deserved considering how important the history is and how much it plays into the plot, and it's probably the part in the game where the stuff gets really good. So, for the first time. Greetings, sir, and welcome to our fair city. If you would permit me to examine the seal on your missives you carry. Yes. A letter addressed to Lominsan Admiral Merle Blowfishfun. Yes, everything seems to be in order. My apologies, we cannot afford to be complacent. You understand. Please step this way. I mean, it makes sense. Like, border control is important, I feel. To a certain extent.
Enter.
Oh, there she is with her amazing voice actor, who I'm still sad they replaced. Her new voice is fine, but this voice is better.
Gridanian Envoy to be an adventurer. It speaks highly of your character that the elder Seedseer would choose an outsider to represent her nation's
Yeah, I know
interests.
nothing about Gridania, really. So if we're going to talk about relations and stuff, I'm not going to be a good point for that. I don't know why she chose me, to be honest.
This way. I bid you welcome.
That thing to your left, Merlub, what is that used for? Is it like an intercom? Is that how you speak to the people? Does that connect with like the rest of the area? It's also got smaller pipes around it too, which implies it's meant to throw your voice through the pipe. What is it? I don't think he ever uses it in the game, but it's strange.
I am Melve Blufisvin, Admiral
Blufishfin.
of Limsa Lominsa.
I've got a
and Commander
Blowfishfin.
of the Maelstrom.
I'm sorry. So, yeah, the Maelstrom. There are 3 groups of individuals, military for each nation. You have the Twin Adder, the Rising Flames, and the Maelstrom. I am part of the Maelstrom. You can choose what company to join. I joined the Maelstrom just because of one, convenience, and I like Limsa, and I think it gives me access to a lot of seals and stuff.
Now, what news from the Black Shroud?
Shit. Bad things. Oh yeah, okay, I'm not actually talking. A memorial service to honor the fallen. Seven hells. Has it been 5 years? 5 years since the Garlean Empire sought to wrest Eorzea from our grasp. It was in answer to that imperial threat that the city-state formed the Grand Companies and forged the Eorzean alliance anew. But Garlemald was not content to wager all on a simple contest of martial might. They had other plans. The Meteor Project. Legatus Neo Vandanis, Hell's Take Him, intended to cleanse our realm by snatching the lesser moon Dalamud from the heavens and casting it down upon our heads. Desperate to prevent this lunatic scheme, we marched our forces to the Cartenau Flats and met the 7th Imperial Legion in battle. Never have I seen a fight like the Battle of Cartenau, and I have seen full many. Makes me wonder who you fought, because you seem pretty chummy with Older and Gridania. I don't think you fought either of them. You're even friends with their leaders, which implies you wouldn't have fought them because they trust you. I guess the Sahagin, right? That'll be explained in a bit. But though we gave no quarter, spared not one ounce of effort, we could not prevent what followed. From inside the shell of Dalamud came the winged nightmare, a dragon the size of a bloody city. 'Twas the elder primal Bahamut, bent on making an 8th hell of Eorzea. In the space of a breath, the legions of the Empire were set aflame, while our own armies fared little better. 'Twas as if the whole world was burning. Words cannot well describe the scene. And yet, by some miracle, a few among us were spared. Even as I steeled myself for death, a blinding white light enveloped me and robbing me of my senses. Yes, because as we saw in that one cutscene in the Dalamud flashback, they made their armies retreat, but they themselves did not retreat. We saw during the intro cinematic that the people, Ida and Papalima, were fighting alongside Louis Soir, and the 3 leaders of the nations also went to fight alongside them. When I regained them, the dragon was gone, and the still smouldering land was warped beyond our all-knowing. When Archon Louis Soir still with us, he would doubtless shed some light on these unfathomable happenings. Alas, he is not, and I fear we will want for his wisdom in the days to come. For while our nation struggles to recover from the devastation, the beastmen call forth their damned primals to torment us anew. Unless we put aside our differences and rebuild now, our foes will catch us unprepared. And I speak not only of the beastmen. Do not imagine that the Empire has forsaken its claim on Eorzea. The Imperials crowd our borders, waiting to strike. Damn it all. We need champions to replace those we lost. But such thoughts are worse than worthless. Time is short, and none will save us, save ourselves. It is the duty of every soul who survived the calamity to work together for the good of Eorzea, and this memorial service may be the very thing to unite us. Aye, Countess Senna has the right of it. I accept her proposal. We're gonna have a memorial service, and it's gonna be like pirate cannons and things. It's gonna be fucking brilliant. That's an important character who we're not going to be speaking to at all until, I think, Shadowbringers? Maybe they're going to be important before then, but there's this whole side quest involving them. Your duty is done here, adventurer. I will see to it that the Elder Seeds here sees my reply. You shall next to Alder, yes? Indeed. Pray give my regards to General Bard. Oh, and tell him the wolf has been sniffling around the stables. A private jest and one in poor taste, but I would happily tell it all the same. We like to joke between ourselves. Fare you well, Rahana. May the Navigator guide you on your journey. So the Navigator is also one of the gods. I think. Might be wrong. Yeah, no, what's her name? Begins with M, I think. I remember her, but I don't remember her as well as I thought we did. But yeah, we're not gonna go out there. That is no man's land, basically. So we don't want to go over there and deal with that right now. We're gonna head back to the airship landing and go immediately to Ulder. I forgot that you go between the 3 nations. I thought that you do them and then the dungeon in each one, but I think we go to each one first and then we go back and start doing the dungeons. Which makes sense. We're getting introduced to all the nations, and then the story is going to start to become, well, as already actually, is all merged together. So all of our Gridanian introductions will still be there in the text, mostly flavor text, but now the story is all one thing. We're not in 3 different timelines right now, being a Gridania, Ulder, or Limsa. But yeah, let's head to Ulder. And we're going to meet more good characters. God, the characters that will be good, they're fine now, but they're going to get better. If you want to know how I rank the expansions, Realm Reborn's at the bottom, which isn't a fault of its own, really. And then Stormblood, and then Dawn Trail, Heaven Sword, Endwalker, and then Shadowwingers is how I usually rank it. And I would argue that they're still really high quality. Stormblood's great. I think Stormblood has higher highs than Dawn Trail, but Dawn Trail is overall higher quality. And I think both have issues story-wise, but the Stormblood patches are some of the best patches in the game. While we've yet to see how good the Dawn Trail patches are going to be. Hi, you must be the Envoy from Gridania. Welcome to Ulder, sir. The Flame General awaits your arrival. The Flame General himself. Welcome to Ulder, sir. We have been expecting you. Flame General Barn will receive you in the Fragrant Chamber, placed at the lift down to the Hustings Strip, and Speaker Bartholomew at the Royal Promenade. Just nailed it. Bam, 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 nailed it over and over again with the voice acting right now. So yeah, a bit of history for the world. The Garlemald, the Empire anyway, they first arrived in Eorzea in Alamigo, which is the northeastern province of the world, this giant desert. And unfortunately, the Garlemald were successful in taking over Alamigo. And from that point, everyone who was from Alamigo moved to Ulder, or they moved to Ulder and went to a place called Little Alamigo. And we'll find out more about that later. But the main thing you need to know now is Garlemald have a foothold in Eorzea, and it has affected things in Ulder in a bad way. And it is worth mentioning that Alamigos are still trying to regain their home, basically. Alamigans are Alamigos. The Gridanian Envoy, I presume. Would it be so good as to follow me to inspect the message you bear? My thanks. Yes, you can have a look. Ah yes, the seal of the Elder Seedseer. Please proceed. Hi, who are you? You're a character I haven't seen before. Or remember.
A guest from Gridania. I thought I smelled leaf mold.
What does that even mean?
I won't hold it against you. If you're half the warrior Cartenau says, 'tis a wonder you don't reek of dead Ixal.
Well, I had a shower since then, Raban.
I am Rauban al-Din, General of the Immortal Flames. But you did not come all this way to trade formalities.
So the way Raban was described to me, his voice in the Realm Reborn, is the guy is going for Game of Thrones as much as possible, and I can definitely hear it. They're going for like that political drama, kind of like all these kingdoms, which is good. But I kind of like Raban's new voice a lot more. I think he's a lot more charismatic and more less so does all focus about politics, and he has a kind of a more of a personality. Cartenau. I remember bloody Cartenau. Do you know what happened that day, adventurer, when we took the field against the Garleans? So my counterparts have educated you. Also, I was told to say this from Merlib. No, trust Merlib to make light of our wolf problem. Women always did have a black sense of humour. Wolves are bloodthirsty beasts upon which one cannot turn one's back. 'Tis only a matter of time before they bite. So, it was the Garleans 50 years ago. No sooner had they learned how to use magic tech than they began seizing territory from their neighbours. Led by the legatus Zosgalvis, they swiftly brought the other nations of Ilzabar to heel, and so the legatus became an emperor, and his republic an empire. An empire which then set its sights upon Eorzea. But the conquering emperor is now an old man of 80 winters. His health is failing and he has no clear successors. Like as not, this is why the Garleans have been quiet of late. Wait, what? What do you mean no clear successors? I'm gonna spoil you, chat. He does have successors. But does he mean he hasn't chosen a successor yet? Is that what you mean by that? Because he does have children. We have seen his children. But the 14th Imperial Legion is still entrenched within our borders, and their commander, Legatus Gaius van Belsar, has long harboured ambitions of conquest. Were he to strike now, I feel we would fall like so many before us, and not only older, but Gridanian and Limzo Laminzo as well. For the calamity brought the lot of us to our knees, and we've yet to get up. We barely have the strength to stand against the beast tribes, never mind the primals they mean to summon. We are a realm divided, adventurer. No, not a realm reborn, no! An alliance in name only. But the wolf cares not for the plight of his prey. The Garleans stir, and the Admiral will not let it go unnoticed. All other concerns pale in comparison to the Empire, even the beast tribes and their bloody primals. We must stand united once more, that much is clear, and if we're to do so, we must remember the cause which last brought us together. Cannae will have her memorial. We will honour the memory of the fallen. We will remind the people what their brothers and sisters fought and died for. I will write it down on this piece of paper, with a big old scribble and a smiley face. I don't know who this character is. Shall I inform the Sultana and the Syndicate? I will speak of her grace myself. Very good, sir. The Elder Seed still will have my reply on. My thanks to you, adventurer. You get it, Raban, you cool dude. I feel like a lot more of that scene could have been voice acted. Like, if this expansion came out today, that scene would have been voice acted entirely, I think. You may now make use of the airship routes connected to the 3 regions. Before you board an airship, you must pay the requisite fare and gil. Right, Call of the Sea. Bartholomew has information that may be of interest to you. Ah, my Lord Envy, I trust your stay in the Sultanate has been pleasant. Now, if you do not mind my asking, do you perhaps have a plan to visit Limza Laminzo in the near future? If so, I have information that may be of interest to you. I once accompanied the Flame General on an official visit to the seaside city-state, during which time I became acquainted with Badaron, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench. Well, the man sent word just now that he had a job for a capable adventurer. I can think of none of better credentials than you. Badaron will doubtless be pleased were you to offer him your services. What, like, in the entirety of Eorzea, I'm the finest adventurer you can think of, not like, you know, Ida and Papalimo's group? I guess we'll head to Limza then. All right. Well, I'm gonna warp. Oh! Okay, we're here. Badaron. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. Sit wherever you like, mate. I'll be with you in a. Hi, I'm Badaron. All right. Who's asking? Ah, I've got a job for a capable adventurer. You say? Well, you're bloody right. Just so you're fairly warm, though. This ain't no job for the favor. Things are liable to get downright bleeding hairy. But if you think you're still interested, let me know and I'll fill you in the details. I would love to. I would love to go over here. Wait. Oh! Well, that's the end of part 1 of the New Game Plus and the Realm Reborn. Huh. Okay, well I guess we'll go right to New Game Plus part 2. In the midst of touring the 3 city-states and witnessing the myriad problems besetting the realm, the adventurer has a chance encounter with a member of the enigmatic Science of the Seventh Dawn. Oh wait, no, that's a lot. That's cheat. Yes, spoilers. Unable to commence in your current location, do so for. Okay, I'll see you guys in a second while I figure this out. Okay, I'm back. I figured it out. I figured out how to do this, and we're gonna go and talk to him now. So I had to leave the area, just finishing off an egg, and then we'll go to do this. It's probably pirates. Badaron, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, has need of a capable adventurer. It's also a cutscene. Thank you for taking the time out to help me out. Now I'm sure you're busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it there's some suspicious looking buggers that are sneaking in now with Sastasha Seagrate. Need a trustworthy set to head up north of Alapor and find out who they are and what they're up to. Don't sound like much, I know. But it weren't so long ago as the Fishback's pet pirate paid us an unwelcome visit, and folks are feeling a bit nervous. If you would permit me, Master Badaron, I should be happy to elaborate. Well, there ain't the Chief Yellowjacket himself. To what do I owe this rare honor, Commander Reiner? Come to make sure my patrons are behaving or just thirsty? Like the blue bottles here. Reminds me of like WKD, which is like a kid's alcohol drink. Neither. In fact, I was informed he had requested an adventurer to assist in my investigation, and I came to offer what information I could sift from recent reports. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel off the coast of Alaport, in the vicinity of the Isles of Umber. This information came to be my attention no more than a few weeks after a squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Sastasha Sea Grot included. I always call it Sastasha, but it is Sastasha. Their search revealed little, save that a family of culls had taken up residence in the caves. Nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Sastasha again. But with the Hagen testing our defences daily, I am loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal, our line as stretched as it is. Thus, I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in this matter will be greatly appreciated. Then it is settled. Sastasha is located in western La Lucia, so this is a common thing that the community has tried to work out how to pronounce this word, because they do say it in the MSQ eventually, but the way I see the word Nocia is ocean. So it's not Nocia, it's Nocia. I think is how I would pronounce it anyway. It's like how Tidus should be pronounced Tidus, not Tidus. For more detailed instructions on how to reach the place, I suggest you contact Vimalpa. She could be found in the ferry docks at the lower decks. You heard the man. Good luck to your lad. Alright. So, something I need to engage are cutscenes in dungeons. There's a setting in this game that allows you to turn off cutscenes in dungeons after you've completed them. And I think being in New Game Plus will mean the cutscenes are still going to be skipped. So I need to turn the cutscenes on to be able to watch them. That's how we're going to do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to get that. Also, this is going to be our first chance to properly do a dungeon. And that's going to be without players in it. It's going to be a trust. Trust dungeon is basically going to be a group of NPCs who are going to fight alongside us. This is going to allow me to go at my own pace, my own comfortable pace. And that's mostly the plan of that. Right, we need to go through the Deadlands. Not Deadlands, the No Man's Land. But yeah, here's Limsa. If I was to decide a city-state I would like to visit, like in real life, it would probably be a Limsa out of the three. Gridania seems nice, but also it's probably going to have a lot of big bugs in it if you try to go over there. And all it really has is the kind of the rural, like, forest village kind of effect. While Limsa feels like a place you can have a laugh, get some chips, go fishing maybe. There's a lot of good tourism here I feel like would be available. And I love the sea, like, style they go for here. It's such a beautiful area. Alongside that, there's Older. Considering some of the political stuff we're going to be seeing with Older, probably not the best nation I would like to visit. There's also the argument to be made that Limsa has pirates, but for the most part, you don't really ever feel in danger in Limsa, outside of maybe being in no man's land. But even then, it isn't that bad. Limsa is going to be quite important for whenever we go out on boat, which is going to happen a number of times in the MSQ. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Look at the sunset! Oh, they knew I was going to be here, and they were like, let's have a beautiful send-off or flower before he leaves Limsa. But yeah, we're going to be back here a number of times whenever we need to take a boat to go to a new region. Yeah, that's kind of it. There's also world fishing here you can do as well if you want. You're here for Commander Rayner's investigation, then you want to board a ferry aboard for Aleport. Wait, is it Aleport? Oh my god, it's Aleport. I've called it Aleport in my entire time playing this game. It's Aleport because of ale. Oh! Once you arrive in Western La Nosea, though, you better pay a visit to the Oshia, not Oshia, not Osea, it's Oshia. Though, you better pay a visit to the Hall of the Novice before you blunder into Sastasha. The Adventurer Guild runs the hall, and the folks there prepare you, training you the skills needed to face the dangers undoubtedly waiting for you in the Sea Grot. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, just north of Aleport. Head inside and one of the seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. Right. Well, I guess we're going to head over there now. As you can see, the crystal over there is going to light up during the night. Very pretty. So we're going to go to Aleport. You can also use it to get to Mist, which is the housing district in Limsa. And Costa del Sol, which will be important later in the MSQ for Realm Reborn. Oh, Aleport has such good music, I forgot about it. So, this is going to be a curious thing, because the Adventurers Guild is technically a duty instance, or technically a mission. I'm wondering how it's going to be handled now, but I guess we'll see. As you can see, there are certain NPCs here. Basically, this hub acts as a way to teach you how to do dungeons before going into it with a group of players who have done Sastasha to death. Sastasha is probably the most played dungeon because it's the first one you get, and the fact that it appears in leveling roulette means a lot of people have done it. And thus, they're going to tend to rush through. If you go through with a veteran tank, they're going to probably want to run through, and usually you just tell them to stop, but sometimes they're not going to be nice, so it's difficult to go through this as a healer the first time. I know I had difficulties with doing that, but it wasn't the worst thing in the entire world, I will say. Now we got trusts, it is a lot easier to get used to that kind of mechanic, I feel. You must be the adventurer of whom the Yellow Jacket sent word. I hear you are brave to the depths of the Sastasha Sea Grot. The occupants of the caves are women to be numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling in such a den of savagery alone will be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions. And you shall need the training we here at the Hall of the Novice can provide. I strongly suggest that you study the fundamentals of group combat before continuing on your mission. The smith here oversees the training schedules. Speak of him and you can register the exercises tailored to your particular field of expertise. When you have mastered all that our reports here to have to teach, then it'll be time to head north once more. Report to Yellow Jacket's scout at the mouth of the Sastasha Sea Grot, and he'll furnish you with the details of your duty. So yeah, we got a Hall of the Novice membership granted. Now, I think I can do this now anyway, but yeah, here you go. You have now access to the Hall of the Novice, designed especially for your chosen role. These selectors will teach you the ins and outs of Pi combat. You may access them at any time, either by selecting Horde and Novice from the duty section of the main menu, or by speaking with any of the smiths found in adventurous guilds across Eorzea. Complete these exercises and receive a set of gear that will aid you in your journey. So, I don't have to do it. I am going to show it though. I'm not going to just ignore it because it's part of Realm Reborn. I do want to show what this is. So, I will show you that right now. So, the duty we're going to be undertaking for our training is called Basic Training Enemy Parties. This battle exercise will test your ability to manage multiple parties of enemies, learn to draw single targets from groups using ranged attacks, and engage them in locations far out of the lines of sight of other creatures. Right. Oh, it requires more than one person? There's 1 to 4. So if I can go in this unrestricted... Oh. Well, I don't want to accidentally bring in other players. I don't want to bring in other people for this. That's going to be it's going to annoy a lot of people. Well, since we can't do that, that's fine. Instead, we'll just head to Sastasha, and I'll talk about how dungeons are done while in that place. Oh, hello. How's it going, guys? Oh, Eddie, you're so slow. You'd lose a foot waste to a tree slug. This is perfect for our inaugural outing as a party, wandering around the caves, turning over a few rocks. How difficult could it possibly be? I never expected our first visit to the Adventurers Guild wield such a straightforward way to win fame and fortune. What took you so long, bloody long, Edda? If my purse was too late, we might have considered using some of your own bleeding coin to get us what we need. You've only been as useful as the contents of your pockets. The gods knows you can barely eel a scratch. Took up the venturing life to take on the big jobs and claim the big rewards. How are we meant to do that if you can't even get our supplies in order? Oh, it's him! The one Badon was talking about. Oh, we'll see who gets the glory. This job should have been ours in the first place. Well, I'm here to do it, not you, buddy. You alright? What's going on down here? I'm sorry, Avia. I came as fast as I could. I tried haggling with the merchant, but 2 potions was the best I could get with the money you gave me. I had no idea how expensive they were. I feel like as a healer, you shouldn't rely on potions. But again, I don't know what kind of healer she is. Maybe she's like an alchemist. Anyway, we are here to work for the other person. Hello, how's it going? Please tell me you're here on yellow jacket duty, and not some daft sod out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Oh, thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ship seen slipping around the Isles of Umbra. We've been on the lookout for pirate activity ever since that vessel was sighted, thinking a crew of cutthroats might have a den nearby. So when we received word that men of questionable quality have been seen passing in and out of Sastasha here, we weren't entirely surprised. I've yet to see him for myself, but if this lot belongs to those fish-back fancying serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around in the caves and find out exactly who we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll keep watching out here, praying you don't spot any blue-faced tattoos. I appreciate the support. The duty support is now unlocked. So, in the original game, before any updates, there wasn't a thing called duty support. And they added it recently during the Endwalker patches. Basically, it's a means to do dungeons without requiring other players. And every single dungeon in the MSQ now has duty support. Trials do not, and I will explain those when we get to them. Although I think the only trial in Realm Reborn is the final mission we're doing. And yeah, basically it's designed for you to go in with other players. And in the case of this, we can go in there with allies who aren't going to be other players. So we can confirm our own pace and go at it at our own leisure, basically. So, a duty calls, a dungeon beckons, enlist the aid of allied players and NPCs, alike to slay monsters, solve mysteries, and defeat the mighty boss lurking in the depths. Conquering dungeons is not only a time-honored tradition of adventurers, but it also progresses the main scenario and tests your prowess at a given class or job in a timed environment. Intimidated? Fear not, dear adventurer. For a little guidance, you two shall be clearing dungeons with confidence in no time. I think this is going to go through a lot of things. Yeah, okay, I'll explain all this stuff, and we'll go through it when we're in there. It's cool that they give you that. I don't think I had that when I did this, but it's cool that's in there. Hello, Garrett. I can't talk to you in New Game Plus? Who are you then? Well, we're going to be going into here for our first dungeon. So yeah, New Game Plus does also include the dungeons, which is nice. I had that when I was doing the Ivolus raids for Stormblood. So we also get that here as well, which is quite nice. Enter party, Sastasha, with party of NPCs. Yes. So, a dungeon makeup, it usually consists, or always will consist, of 2 DPS who are in red, 1 healer who is in green, and 1 tank who is in blue. The way dungeons are designed is you have the DPS who take on the enemies, while healers tend to focus on healing everyone, making sure everyone alive, but they also do DPS, and the tank who draws aggro and keeps the monsters in bay while the others fight. Every single class in the game, as the JoCat video has said, are DPS. If you are not healing, then you are doing damage. If you are not drawing aggro, then you are attacking. And the DPS, that's their primary job. That's all they do. In the sense, playing DPS is easier, but you also need to maintain a level of damage so that the other two do not die. So we're going to be going into this with Eager Marauder, Eager Conjurer, and Eager Thaumaturge. But before that, I will read the dungeon description so we can have a look at that. So, Sastasha. After a period of relative silence following the calamity, the Serpent Reavers have once again taken to terrorizing the inland hamlets of La Nosea, killing the men, kidnapping the women and children, plundering the storehouses, and burning what little they leave behind. For years, it was not known how the pirates were able to raid areas so far from the coast, until a local shepherd sighted a band of painted ruffians entering the Sastasha sea grot, carrying large quantities of sacks and crates. Could it be that there is more to this cave than meets the eye? Well, I guess we'll find out in this dungeon, shall we? Let's go in there. Instant queue. Well, it's because we've got our own NPCs. Wait, my portrait? Oh, we're not going to get a portrait here anyway. This is my first time seeing this intro cinematic in a while. But here's Sastasha, the first dungeon in the game, and the one you're most going to see in the leveling roulettes. So fun fact, Strangers of Paradise, an action game that came out a while ago, has a level very similar to this in it. It has a level for every single Final Fantasy game, and the one they chose for Final Fantasy XIV was Sastasha. And it makes sense. This is the dungeon everyone kind of thinks about when they think about Final Fantasy XIV. The coral reef structures, the pirate design, it's all very classic design. Now obviously we have better dungeons now, and I am kind of sick to death of doing this dungeon, but that is this kind of the deal with roulette. You're always going to tend to get Sastasha. But here we are. So, the tank usually leads the battle, but the thing about trusts is they tend to wait for you to move forward. They're following you so you can go at your own pace. There's no like pre-programmed route for the guys. So yeah, we'll go fight our first enemy in a dungeon, the Black Bat. As you can see, the line connects them, which means they're going to be drawn to each other when we attack them. So the tank will take aggro, and the healer's job is to keep the tank alive, while my job is primarily just to attack. Now, when it comes to small enemy groups of this, I might cut out a bunch of this when I stop talking, because there isn't really a whole lot to add. We can have a little look around, read some things occasionally, but for the most part, we are going to be focusing on going at this at a pretty speedy pace, because the Realm Reborn dungeons don't really have anything too crazy going on about them. They have some cool things occasionally, but for the most part, they're the weakest dungeons in the game. It's only really, I would say, Shadowbringers where they find a really good structure for them, and every single dungeon tends to be really good. There are exceptions to that rule, but they get really good in dungeon design by that point. But we do have a memo here we can read. A bloody memo. You find a blood-stained scrap of parchment with a message scrawled upon it in faded ink. The captain ikes his wine red. He likes his wine red. Almost went into Charlotte language there for a second. So the main objective of dungeons is to complete the objectives on the side. It is following a linear track for the most part. And there are the occasional unique mechanics in each of these dungeons. So here's our first unique mechanic. As you can see here, the giant clam opens and will constantly spawn little shade seekers. It will close its jaws, which means you cannot hit it during that period. And you have to wait until it dies before you can kill it. It is dead now because the text has gone red. Oh, well, great, sorry. And the dungeons are all structured the same way, for the most part. You have your first leg of journey, which leads to a boss. Second leg of journey leads to another boss. And then the final leg of journey leads to a third boss. Again, there are exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, all dungeons follow this same linear track. And yeah, for the dynamic is different depending on what class you play. I am most comfortable in healer for the most part because that's the class I started on. I started as white mage when I was playing Zigbar. But mechanics like these kind of showcase the roles of certain classes during dungeons. So here, because there's a clam and spawns more enemies, my focus is killing the clams, making sure it stops spawning the enemies. Now, funnily enough, this is not really the dungeon experience you will get in Sastasha if you do this as a leveling roulette or it appears in with other players. Because for the most part, and this is not a fault of the tanks at all, tanks will tend to do a lot bigger mob pools. Because the game is designed for the most part for you to grab up to 2 groups of enemies and for the healer to compensate for that. Now, for the most part, they give you enough tools to deal with that, but it can be stressful for the healer. So usually I'm of the mind with, if the healer's not comfortable with it, don't go down that route. But if they are, then who cares? Do as many big mob pools as possible. That's why you tend to see in dungeons where people in chat are like, let's slow the pace down a little bit. Everyone's not keeping up. But, with Sastasha, that's not really a problem because mob pools in this dungeon are not that bad. I am going to be going at a slower pace, but I am kind of curious to see if the tank can take more than a couple of enemies. Maybe at some point. So here's our first puzzle. We have 3 different coal formations, and the job here is to work out which one will open the door. Now I know there's some experience which one does, because I've played the dungeon to death, but we're going to do the other 2 first and see what happens. So we're going to start with red coal. Oh. Ah, well now you see. Now I forget. Because it's not blue, it's red. And you can tell that because of the note we got earlier. That said on it, he likes his wine red. And that was the red switch. Colorblind be damned. Also flower be damned because I thought it was the other one and I just made a fool of myself on... I made a fool of myself on the internet. So here's the first boss in the entire series, basically, in a dungeon. The Chopper. He is a giant Carl. In Strangers of Paradise, they have Carls appearing in this in that first level, which is a reference to this, I think. All he has is Charged Whisker. Isn't that bad, you just move out of it. We are going to be seeing more complicated dungeon design, but at least until Heavensward, the beginning bosses are not going to be that bad. We do get more complicated ones as we go along, but yeah, they tend to be hit them a couple of times, dodge the AoE. It's a harder job for the healer and tank as usual, but for the most part it's the same every single time. So yeah, here's already a difference. We've already gone to a boss door, which implies that this might be the first boss. Well, the one we did just now was not a boss. But here's King Madison, or not King Count Madison. How define this place? Is what he says. Doesn't appear on screen though, so it's kind of hard to see what he's talking about. But as usual, in an enemy encounter, you take down the ads first, and then you fight the boss afterwards. Ah, scabby dog, squad. That's the second time I've done like a power voice in this game, but for completely different reasons. So yeah, a lot of the beginning bosses tend to be DPS checks. Out of the 3 dungeons we're doing here, I think the next one's my favourite, because the Gridanian one has been heavily changed out of all of them, I will say. Oh, we also leveled up here, nice. I guess we all level up a bit in these dungeons because I'm low enough level for that. Try and catch me, landlubber. Ah, two-legged guy? What an asshole. So we've got a group of enemies here. I want to see what happens if I grab a bigger group of these lads and see if they can handle it. Alright, buddy, I'm going to grab you as well. He is coming over to help. Be funny if he just died and ate shit. The healer's gonna get angry with me. What the fuck are you doing, Flower? You grabbed too many! I'm sorry. So occasionally an enemy in a dungeon will drop an item. This is something that doesn't really happen as often anymore. They tend to just give you the item if you kill the enemies because people mostly forget about it. Also, look at this Lalafell standing on this fence like it means nothing. It's made out of rope. How are you doing that? But yeah, we're also going to save the Lalafells here, who I guess are meant to be the children, like the wives and children mentioned in that note. It's kind of cool though, again. Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus, you scared the crap out of me. What the hell are you guys doing over here, napping? Your base is getting attacked and you're just killing out over here. You can all go to hell, you lazy assholes. But, you know, I like pirates. Pirates are always seen as cartoony, but then you realise that actual pirates are kind of awful. And it's like, it kind of takes away from some of the fun of them a little bit, I think, right? I don't think I've ever gone over here. Anything in here outside of a treasure chest? No, I'll let you good gentlemen just... Okay, or not. I was going to say, I was going to let these good gentlemen just chill out, but then the tank decided to grab the entire group. So, you know, that's always well and good. Hi, I'm here to help. I am here to save you all. Vahana Yashi. Which is how you pronounce his name, not Vahana. It's also over here I haven't gone to before. I don't think I've ever completed the Sastasha map before, actually saying that. Key to the hole? Okay, we are seeing stuff I've never seen before, which is kind of exciting to be fair. I'm down to see weird things I've never seen before in this dungeon. Because, like, yeah, I always go to other players and they never go towards the other things because they're kind of pointless. But I want to know what's over here, damn it. Key to the hole. You put the key right outside. Oh my god. Oh, okay, so in every other instance of me doing this dungeon, I haven't saved anyone. That's good to know. Oh, I saved you all. I did it. I saved them and the children, which are not just Lalafells. Just because they're tiny, of course. Nah. Who needs to think about that stuff? So yeah, to complete a map in this place, I need to get all the white mist. So I guess I'll do that since I'm here. Why not? I can finally complete the Sastasha map. That's kind of crazy. Hi guys, you guys can just chill out. No, eager. I know you're eager, but there's nothing else in there. Just leave them alone. And then finally we've got the deckhands quarters, which I think this has a treasure chest in it. But they also found me. Oh, that's the entire map cleared. Oh my god. Who are they killing over there? They find each other? They are! It's like actual friendly fire in this, and now they're healing each other. What's going on right now? Why are you trying to kill each other? Weird. Yeah, because their names are purple. Purple means that they are fighting each other. Hey, don't die, Igamorda. I'm going to deal with the other guys while you're here. He's fine. The healer's doing a good job. Look at them. Look at the healer go. Oh, the former is like in a box right now. Lightning strike. Lightning bolt. I like how they're kind of like novices. They aren't the best in combat. So we are going to be seeing like actual main characters in dungeons. But I think that might be a thing that starts happening in a Heaven Sword patches. And there's going to be some calls I haven't seen before in that too. Okay, they need to stop. Who's healing them? Right, you need to stop doing that. Well, they're dead anyway. Doesn't matter. Yeah, the more you know. I just found a group of people fighting. Never thought I'd see the day, but we are fully clearing Sastasha. Well, this has been a wonderful little exercise I haven't really taken part in before in this. Now that we've done that, we've got the key, so we can go out into the captain's quarters. I'm going to open the door. Say that to the captain as well. I'm angry! Showing my anger and going to punch the captain in his face. His groin. Why is he so big? He's like one of the biggest Rogadon I've ever seen. Let's kill the ads. Let's kill the ads. Just make sure our guy doesn't die. Let's kill them. Alright, there we go. And now we're just focusing on punching this guy down to his lack of HP. Goodbye. Goodbye. So he's going to drop a key on his death. He's going to drop the Wave Wider key. And yeah, we're going to continue on. Exploring the dungeon. Enjoying ourselves in the dungeon itself. So one of the benefits of Studio Support is the pacing. Like, you can control your pacing, which is wonderful. And if you wanted to get pictures in Sastasha, you can do that here now. Couldn't do that before, and it makes it a lot more fun to go through, I think. I opened the door. Oh, I can't wait to see what our next boss is going to be. It's surely going to be... Oh, it's the Captain Madison again. Buddy, what the hell? This is a cool first dungeon, though, because it not only sets up you know, all the mechanics and how dungeons tend to work, but it also has a neat little story twist in there at the end. It's a cute twist that I know to death because I've done this dungeon, I think, probably more than 100 times at this point. But like I said, I've never gone to those other rooms back there, so that was a fun thing to do on my first time here. To think that Zigbar left all those maidens to die. What an asshole. Vahana's not like that. Vahana's good. Vahana loves all Lalafels and treats them equally. He just definitely did not call them children a few seconds ago. So halfway through this fight, a bunch of dogs are going to appear. And doesn't really change the flow of combat really, you just got to kill some dogs and they make sad noises when they die. Thanks, game! Thanks for them making them make sad noises. This makes me feel very good about killing them. You're very good, game, you're very good. Batten down the hatches! Batten down the hatches! Squawk! Oh, might you me consider a parley? 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 Squawk! And now we head to the final area of the dungeon, which I have seen many times people clearing by just running straight to the boss door and just sitting there. Now you can run into the boss, it isn't recommended because the boss does do a good bit of damage and having all the other enemies on you can just kill you, but the game does not stop you from doing the boss. Later on in the expansions, they will have walls that stop you from doing that, like doors that will only open once you kill all the enemies. Which is probably the best way of handling it, I will say. Because the game knows that you want to do big pulls, and doing the big pulls nets you less time in the dungeon, which is why people do them so often, and is why I tend to do them often as well. It makes sense. It makes sense why they design it that way, because the whole idea of roulettes is you're redoing the dungeons for people who have already done them, or haven't done them yet, and it gives people a chance, you know, going to dungeons they haven't really seen before as well. Right, we're done. Now we're gonna kill these lads. Stop making weird noises. Oh, is that a Lalafell? It was. I can't help myself. Just can't help myself. Maybe I'll be mean to all races equally. Then it won't be like targeting one race. Guys, are you gonna kill this one or not? No, they're not. I have no AoE skills, nor do I think Monk gets AoE skills until level 50. So, yeah. It's going to be fun though, because we are going to get a Monk soon. You surely are swamping down, Shorewalker. Damn! He just killed that captain like he was nothing, and he was nothing. So then now we're going to fight Den, the Orca-toothed. The Lord of the world shall sup upon your souls. That is a famous speaking they kind of drop after this dungeon, I think. They did not all Sahagins speak like that. So, as you can see, there is a mechanic in this dungeon. Well, many people do see it on the final boss, but as you can see, ripples are going to start to appear on the surfaces. We're going to go over here and stop them from happening. And the evil presence is gone. If you allow the ripples to continue, enemies will eventually spawn. And, well, we're about to get an enemy to spawn. Baleen Guard. Okay, so we're going to focus on just killing the guy. Now, I don't actually have limit break on my bar right now, but I can probably add it by going to my... general, there it is. So I'm going to put that on my bar. And then we're going to do a limit break. We're going to use our Braver. Every single level 1 limit break for melee DPS is the same. It's all called Braver. But when you get to a level 3 limit break, that's when you get unique ones. But the mechanic involving the ripples was pointless because we've already killed the boss and the level went up twice in the dungeon. That was Sastasha, the first dungeon in the game. Yay, we did it, guys! Ha 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 ha! He did the little ear wiggles at the end as well. There are like 2 different victory animations, and you'll see the other one, I assume, at some point as well. The other victory animation is where we're sad after we finish the fight, because it would feel weird if we like go through a sad dungeon and then we're just like, yeah, we killed the poor creature who was experimented on. Woo! But yeah, so for New Game Plus and how most dungeon quests work, for them to activate that you've cleared them, you need to walk through the exit. And now the quest should be cleared. Enter Sastasha. There you go. Right, so we're going to return to Badaron at the Drowning Wrench. I will see you guys there. Badaron! My buddy, how's it going? I don't have your pirate problem. But who the fuck's this? That's not Badaron. That's not Badaron. Aye, such a task was on the books. Was, in mind. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Dolorous Bear? Oh, might you be the adventurer who started the job of investigating Sastasha? Maybe. What is it to you, Dolorous Bear? It would seem that ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbour. None the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter. The wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader. Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn to follow our shining example. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. I mean, I'm probably going to reach a lot of stars, probably. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are ours, arms and armours for the spirit. Wish you fortune in your endeavours, sir. I wish you fortune in your endeavours as well, buddy. I'll see you later. And we never meet Dolorous Bear again. I mean, we don't, because I don't remember that character. Back then, are we? With all your limbs and a tail to tell, I'll wager? I have got a tail. Oh, wait, you mean a tail? Oh. Fishbacks. And then I was thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or 3. 7 hours, you turned your back for 5 bloody minutes and the scaly bastard set shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you've left in pieces, so I don't suppose they'd be carrying out whatever mischief they were planning. Unless they are planning on feeding themselves to the fawn or a Sastasha, of course. Anyway, it's all well that ends well. On behalf of Limsa, I thank you for shedding some light on this mystery. You've lived up to your reputation. I couldn't ask for more than that. Now, I'll bet you're dying for rest, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you were interested in taking on another job. Just so happens I've had a request from my sister guild on Gridanian. Oh! It's Gridanian next. Seems the folks are in need of a venture we can get things done. For them to ask for your help like this, you can bet the task won't be no simple skip through old Sunnyglade, but after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt there's nothing you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready and I'll lay it out for you. Always looking forward to going back home. As I mentioned, we're going back home right away. Won't be seeing our people. No, we think we will be seeing Million, actually. I assume Miriam wants to talk to us, but yes, we have now unlocked Party Finder. Party Finder is a system in this game which allows you to take part in high-level content. That's usually how you find random people to do extremes. I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that. I would always recommend doing it with friends first, but if you can't, be careful about that system because there are people on there who aren't the best. But for the most part, the community is pretty good, I would say, in this game compared to other MMOs. Call of the Forest. Ready to hear about the job then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania. Or that's, I know, but whatever it is you got asked to do, I somehow doubt a personally probable adventurer survived the bedlam in Sastasha. You think you might be interested? You'll want to have word of Mother Miriam, my counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, mate. Wait. Father? Is that you? Oh, I'm here now. Take a seat wherever you like, friend. Our waitress will come to take your... Oh, it's you, Mahana. So, this is something the game does a lot, which I enjoy. Flavor text. Depending on your outcomes and what choices you say in dialogue, it will change the flavor text. If you are part of the Maelstrom army, it will change certain things when you talk to them. If you do certain quest lines, like optional quest lines, that will also affect some of the MSQ lines. It won't have a massive effect on like plot events or dungeons, but it is nice to see that the game really takes into account certain things like that. Even what race you are. Like if you're a cat, like sometimes the methods fact you got fluffy ears and like a tail, that kind of thing. That foul-mouthed rogue sends me word an adventurer might be along for the job, and it turns out to be you. Well, this makes things a lot easier, doesn't it? With regard to the task in hand, there is a fair bit to tell. Let me know when you're ready to hear the details, and I shall brief you. Fire in the Gloom. Miriam is waiting to brief you on your task. Ready for the briefing? Good. Now then, here's the long and short of it. Beg pardon for interrupting, Miriam, but our needs grow more pressing. Have none step forward? Because I said Lewin, I guess? Hey, it's my buddy. It's the guy who gave me a smile when he thought I'd go out and die in the field. I remember that. And good day to you too, Bowlord. Your need must be pressing indeed for you to honour us with your presence. The good news is, your journey hasn't been wasted. I'm pleased to report you're a volunteer at last, and one who comes highly recommended at that. Why are we being about the bush? We know it's me. Well, if isn't our very own man 4 seasons? You certainly have a knack for appearing when you most needed Vahana. My thanks for answering the call. Now time is of the essence, I shall proceed directly to the heart of the matter. We wish for you to nip a potential threat to a Gridanian in the bud. Beneath the central stroud there lies an underground burial site called the Tam-Tara Deepcroft. The place was once a Gelmoran settlement, but we Gridanians have long interred our dead there. Oh, wait, no, I know what this one is. I like this dungeon. I thought it was the other one that got greatly changed, but no, this one hasn't been changed at all, basically. Of late, however, shadowy figures have been seen skulking about the Deepcroft with an ever-increasing regularity. Based on the accounts of various witnesses, we suspect that these individuals belong to the Lambs of Dalamud, a doomsday cult which sprung up prior to the calamity. These zealots have proven themselves dangerous in the past, and we leave them to their own devices at our peril. Ordinarily, I would have dispatched my best man to scour the Deepcroft with orders to flush the cultists out. Alas, the calamity decimated our ranks, and the limited forces at my disposal are constantly required to keep the Ixal at bay. Since we fought their attack on the Guardian Tree, the Birdmen have not allowed us a moment's respite. They have probed every ilm of our defences in search of a weakness, compelling me to spread our forces far more thinly than I would like. The situation so being, we have no choice but to entrust the task of dealing with the Lambs of Dalamud to others. Can we rely on you to handle this matter, Vahana? No. Yes, I mean, you have my gratitude. Once you've seen to your preparations, pray and make your way to the Deepcroft and identify yourself to the guard post at the entrance. He will apprise you the latest developments, that is all. Be careful out there, you hear? May the crystal guide you and keep you. I feel like I've been adopted by these people. It might be because of the colours I'm wearing as well. But for the twiners wear red, which is interesting because they live in Gridania. I guess it helps them stand out a little bit, but you'd think that archers would probably want to blend in with their environment a little bit better, and that red is probably not the best colour to do that. But yeah, we're going to go to Tam-Tara Deepcroft. We've already encountered this place. That was the place near the Moogle quest we had before we put the Moogle. So again, I'm going to see you guys there. I feel like it's been impossible of late to go to Gridania with good weather. It's been either misty, raining, or dark. Oh, it's you guys again, hi. So we meet again. I cannot say I'm surprised to see you here. To the prize back in Limsa, but this time we will give you better sport, or I am no true adventurer. Think of our goal, sister. One day our adventures will be the stuff of song, and it'll be all worth it. And people are having a bad time over there. God, I hate mausoleums. It's not right to disturb the dead in their slumber. I shudder to think of what might have happened to Ilzdal had I not thought to pick the fruit I stumbled across on the way here. Sometimes he has too much vigor for his own good. He is supposed to mellow us, but if anything, he has made him more impetuous. I understand his desire to make use of the time left to him, but one misstep and there won't be any. Huh. Childish curiosity prompted me to commit the most elementary of blunders. Were it not for the fruit that Alien found, my adventure may well have ended in this forbidden place. Always look before you leap. In my haste, the most fundamental rule of adventuring slipped my mind. I do believe I shall rest here a while. And you stay there, buddy. Don't you worry. I'll go deal with this. Are you guys okay? Hanging out in here with all the skelly boys? I guess they leave you alone. So, yeah, you can do the duty finder thing here if you wanted to get some training before doing these. And it is recommended, just so you know how to do dungeons, in case you do decide to do it with other people. You're a Hanayashi, I take it. Thank you for helping our friend. No doubt the Bow Lord has already informed you, but your task is to enter the Deepcroft and purge you of the Lambs of Dalamud. In case you're unfamiliar with them, the cult emerged shortly before the Calamity put an end to the 6th astral era. The cultists took the lesser moon Dalamud for their god, believing that it would deliver them from the devastation, but ended up giving them devastation, didn't it? And so they were disappointed when Dalamud exploded into 1,000 flaming pieces before it could complete its descent. Now, having seen their god turn to ash, one would think that the cultists might feel moved to question their faith. On the contrary, it served only to stoke the flames of their fanaticism. The Lambs of Dalamud are convinced that heretics, that is to say, everyone but them, interfered with the coming of their Lord and Saviour, and that it's now their duty to avenge him. Whatever it is they're doing in the Deepcroft, you may be sure that no good will come of it. For the sake of Gridanian and Eorzea at large, put an end to their madness. The Tam-Tara Deepcroft is now accessible. Alright, second dungeon. Since its establishment during Gelmorn times, this subterranean crypt has been used for generations as a final resting place for the remains of rulers and nobles. Since the Calamity, however, the tunnels have become overrun with the Lambs of Dalamud, a deadly cult who worships a now-fallen satellite as their saviour. It is in the Deepcroft that these twisted souls silently plot revenge against those who fought to prevent the advent of Dalamud, summoning any dark presence who will aid them to this end, no matter the cost. Don't do that, Flower, because we're going in a party of friends. Like, confirmed friends. It's eager marauders, all our guys again. Or eager conjurers, if no, I will say. Like, yeah, I could do it with players, but again, I think going at it at our own pace will be a better way of doing this, I think. But, yeah. We're going to see this cutscene as well. I haven't seen this one in a while. I really like how this dungeon is designed. Like, Sastasha was a very linear, like a linear line going across a large horizontal area, while this is all vertical. You're going down the tower towards the boss, which is at the bottom of the area. Something that doesn't really happen anymore because dungeons are a lot bigger. They feel bigger in scale too. But these earlier dungeons definitely feel small. And, again, that's not really going to really change until Heavensward, I feel. I mean, there's some later dungeons that are long. I mean, that's that whole thing of the level 50 dungeons, and we'll get to those eventually. I have had to make a small change to my plan for doing these, and that is I'm going to be changing the Karma Awards to add the Realm Reborn patches to where the Heavensward stuff will be. Fundamentally, I think I overestimated how long this would take. Or underestimated how long this would take. And I was like, okay, this might be a little bit too much to do. So I think instead we'll just do Realm Reborn, and then there will be another patches and then a Crystal Tower. And then maybe I'll have like some side things on at some point as well. Like might be nice to do the binding coils at some point as well, and maybe Alexander or Omega. But those will require players, or at least unsynced maybe. But that wouldn't be fun, would it? So yeah, we gotta go around and go through this area basically. So there's a fun thing about this dungeon that is worth mentioning, is that there is a plot point in this dungeon that becomes extremely relevant in Endwalker patches. And I'll explain what it is a little bit, since we aren't going to be doing the Endwalker patches anyway. It goes into the Void, and how the Void works. So you get to see more about the Void creatures, and even get to glimpse into their world a little bit in Endwalker patches. And it's a really cool plot thread that unfortunately the pacing of it isn't the best in Endwalker, and I do like where it goes. I like a lot of the plot points that are involved in the Endwalker patches, but it's a little bit rough, especially doing it one by one. I think the story is a little bit too formulaic compared to previous patches, which have like been outstanding. Some of the patch content in this game is better than some of the MSQ. 5.3 comes to mind, 4.3 comes to mind, 3.3 comes to mind. All the 0.3 patches are always incredible, and then you had the Endwalker one, which is a bit mid. And I think we're going down the same route with the Dawntrail patches, similar to Shadowbringers, where I think the epilogue of Dawntrail is going to happen in part 3. What they tend to do, I like this, is you get the main story for the most part in the main content, and then there's an epilogue afterwards. It happened in Stormblood, and it happened in Heavensward, and it happened in Shadowbringers. Endwalker was different, because Endwalker ended the whole thing at the end of the story. So the rest of the patches could focus on a new story entirely, and that's what they went for. It was a cool puzzle. It was a cool idea, but I don't think it worked out quite as well as they thought it did, unfortunately. So the gimmick here is we're going down, taking out these orbs, and once we get to the bottom, we're better fight the boss. Again, I like the idea of this dungeon. I think this is my favourite one out the way. I forgot that this one was here. I thought that it was the other one in this area, but we'll get to that later on. Don't let me die. Don't let me die. I might need... Okay, let's do this. Make sure I don't die. Tank! Please draw aggro! Oh, that's a lot of enemies. That's a lot of enemies. Oh no! You gonna be okay? See, if one of my other friends were here, they would use a limit break right now, but we don't have a limit break filled yet. One of the good things about the range of limit break is it's a giant AoE, so you can actually use it to take out a whole group of enemies, and it tends to be better than using it against the boss because the single target AoE is not as powerful. Well, it is more powerful, but an AoE attack is always going to be better against a group of enemies than a single target. It's going to do decent damage, but it's not going to make that much difference, I feel, than just waiting a few more seconds to kill the boss. So, yeah, that's kind of the whole thing, I feel. Right, we are coming up to our second crystal here. I think this is where we get a glimpse at the void creatures. But for now, it's all just regular enemies. Again, this dungeon has a twist in it with the void stuff. Because for the most part, you think you're going to deal with the cultists, but then they pull out a void creature out of nowhere. It's like, oh god. And yeah, it's again an example of this game thinking of the formula. You wouldn't really get this in current dungeons where you have 3 orbs to destroy and then going towards the final thing. And I kind of wish we got that back. I feel like the uniqueness of the early dungeons made them more memorable in some ways. Like, I remember this mechanic all the time. There's also a dungeon in the level 50 quest which we're not going to be doing at all, basically, which is like a boss, an enemy rush in the middle, and that's all one area. That's all just one segment. It's you doing this enemy rush in a single arena, and I remember that being quite interesting. But in hindsight, I also think that was done because they didn't have any time to work on the dungeon, so they just like threw in a previous dungeon, added in a room with lots of fire, and then just made you fight lots of enemies in there. But there are some damn good dungeons in the Realm Reborn. We are going to be finding them as we go along. I would also argue that the level 50 dungeons, the final ones we're going to be seeing, are also really well done. And because of how they've changed now, they're not as bad as they used to be. So as you can see here, we can't get into the barrier right away. We need to go somewhere else first. And that's going to be around the corner here. Level design that you don't, again, see in later dungeons. You don't really have like a Resident Evil-esque puzzle where, oh, a door's locked. I'm gonna have to go somewhere else first. So there it is, the Cultist Rosary. That will allow us to basically get into the proper dungeon area. And we can go get the final 2 crystals. Well, they're both going for me right now. Can you... Oh god, they're going for the Conjurer too. Tank, please grab out aggro. Please! I know you can't hear me, but please grab out aggro. There we go. Right, and that's done. We can just go on over and grab this. Boop. Just put that in your pocket, Rahana, that giant cultist rosary. And then we're going to head over here and go unlock the door. Get our final 2 orbs and get the dungeon complete. You don't really get a sense of how long this dungeon is because of how different it feels to Sastasha. But it's around the same length, I would say, because of how it's designed. There's a lot of busy work in the dungeon getting the orbs done, but it's all leading towards a linear route anyway. Like, it's a little less linear, like it kind of hides the linearity a little bit because of the whole unlocking the orbs and that whole last part of the key, but for the most part, it's the same idea with Sastasha. Go through, beat the mini-bosses, and then make your way towards the final area. Octavo the Unforgiving, well, if we kill you, you can't unforgive anyone. Yay! Void Soul Counter. I didn't know we were going to be fighting an accountant. Get out of here, you. Punch you right in the ass. Yeah. We'll feel bad for these guys eventually when we get around to Endwalker, but for now I'm just going to slap them in the ass. Something like that to you. You get whacked. Get completely just whacked. Rahana's just punched him straight in the privates right now. This is just an awful display from him. This is going to be put on a kill cam later, and this is going to suck for you, Rahana, in court. Nice, leveled up again. What are you doing, Eager Marauder? Get out of the table. You're embarrassing me in front of chat. God damn you, Eager Marauder. You're not a cat. Get off there. This dungeon is reused later for a pretty creepy quest, I will say. But in this one we fight Cthulhu. Who summons me from the void? Oh, that text was really quick. But who wishes to reside within the darkness any longer? You seem surprised. Come hither, my text is extremely quickly. Extremely quickly. Extremely fast. That's what I meant to say. But that did not come out the way I was meant to. Right. Again, we're going to punch him in the ass. That's kind of the whole idea with Monk right now. There will eventually be positionals. Oh, I got a new thing. Oh, I got an AoE attack. So fun fact, if you unlock an action during a dungeon, you're able to use that action in the dungeon itself, I think. So I can use that here if I wanted to. So this dungeon is boss is a little bit interesting. You need to destroy the enemies that spawn and now allow you to hit the boss again. He just... Basically, you can't hit him during those times. So now he's vulnerable, we need to go hit the inconspicuous imp. This is very inconspicuous, to be honest, I will say. He's just sitting right there, he's the only enemy who's here. Now we could go for the ads. I'm not going to do that because I'm crazy. I'll let the other guys deal with the ads. We need to run out. Nice dodge, guys. They don't attack John, so they're going to lose the uptime. And we're going to use a limit break, I think. So again, inconspicuous imps is going to be more than one now to increase the difficulty a little bit. This is going to be a mechanic the game's going to love, where it's going to be like, kill a thing, and then destroy its shield. Going to happen in a lot of dungeons. Like, while I would say that dungeons become more linear, I would say they still get better because of mechanics, in terms of enemy and boss mechanics. While I long for more complicated level design, it makes sense why it's simplified, and I think every single dungeon going for that is going to be a bit difficult to keep up with. Focusing on boss mechanics I think is more important, and I'd rather they do that than going crazy with gimmicks in the actual level itself. Because, like, boss mechanics have been excellent. They've been, like, one of the highlights of Dawn Trail, I would say. My ears are wiggling. Stop making your ears wiggle, Rahana. You're embarrassing me in front of chat. Alright, thanks guys. I appreciate the help. I didn't say thank you to you guys last time, but I appreciate it. Right. Onwards to the next dungeon. Well, we gotta finish off the quest first. Tam-Tara Deepcroft. What I would give to get teleported back, but alas, we're just gonna have to warp. Mother returned, or as will be called. Oh look, there's a female Rothgar here. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these guys as I walk around, because they were in addition to to a Dawn Trail. The final race they plan on adding, I remember, if I remember quickly. Welcome back, Mahana. I'm reliably informed that your foray into the Deepcroft was a success. Nor did I expect anything left. You made such a habit of succeeding that it's difficult not to take your talents for granted. Rest assured, however, Mother is impressed, even if she isn't surprised. Lord Lewin asked me to pass his thanks on to you. I must say, it's something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. Sadly, death has become an ever-common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we are hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with them all. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunities for the experienced to overreach themselves with predictable outcomes. As if it would illustrate the point. Yeah, so, as you can see over here, we have encountered these characters before outside of Sastasha. They were with a tank before as well, but the tank is no longer there. Avia's gone, and it's all your fault. If you hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He poked it out of range before I could finish the spell. Oh, he shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah! To the hells with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving, and it'll be too soon if I never see your faces again. Goodbye, and good riddance. This party is toxic. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this comes as a surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do that one thing right. Cruel as may sound, you brought us upon yourself. Oh, and by way of some parting advice, get rid of Avia's head. Bury it, cremate it, do whatever you hell's like with it. But for God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Wait, don't leave me alone, please. I'm so sorry, Avia. Oh, please forgive me. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes a dozen times in half as many days. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventurers of your experience. I can send men like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, so not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, I would entrust you with another. About a bell ago, I received a message from my counterpart in Older. It seeks a service of a reliable adventurer, and you are nothing if not reliable. If you think you might be interested in this task, say the word, and I will be glad to share the details with you. So, that whole thing of Edda is a quest line that continues after this. It doesn't just end there with her losing her husband. It actually continues in a certain type of dungeon experience called... I always forget the name, but I can have a look in here. Okay, no I can't. Well, I can find it on the map. Give me a sec. Yeah, the Palace of the Dead. Palace of the Dead is a type of dungeon that has been done 2 other times. Basically, it's a lot of pre-generated floors and you fight a boss at the end. Edda has a storyline involving resurrecting her husband through dark magic, and a lot of bad stuff happens to her and her party, and I highly recommend it if you haven't played it. It's creepy, but it's a very interesting storyline. I don't think I've seen it entirely play out either, but as I mentioned before, that dungeon we were just in has a dark twist to it as a new dungeon called Tam-Tara Deepcroft Hard, and that's where we see even more of Edda's storyline. So yeah, cool stuff like that, like seeing these storylines continue is one of the reasons why I don't like Final Fantasy XIV. They can just pull back old characters and use them in new settings like this. They did that with the variant dungeons too as well in Endwalker, and I still need to play those at some point. But that's it for now. We're going to continue to the next area, I think. Call of the Desert. Miriam has information on a new task. So you're not averse to taking a little trip. Wonderful. As I mentioned earlier, the request comes to us from the Adventurers Guild and Older. Once you arrive, seek out Momodi, the proprietress of the Quicksand. Think of her as the Sultanate's version of myself. Chances are she'll send you into a midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you'll pull through unscathed. Now off you go, Rahana, and good luck. Bye, mother. Time to go see, I guess, your sister. Oh, we're here. Lovely. Hello, Momodi, how's it going? Don't mind me, I just teleported here. Welcome to the Quicksand, friend. I'm a tad busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself to... Oh, judging by your determined expression, I take you ain't here for ale. You are called Rahana Ayashi, by any chance? Miriam sent word that you'd be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way here to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started. So let's talk business, shall we? Yes, I'm here to do the final dungeon of the episode. I've been called to do it. Into a copper hell. The petitioner ought to be arriving any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under the sun, I would have set fire. A tankard of ale, if you would be so kind. Who? Papa Shan? Excellent timing, Papa Shan. It just so happens the adventurer who'll be handling your petition is here. Aye. Ah, so this strapping young lad is the much lauded adventurer, is he? Marvellous, marvellous. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, good sir. I am Papa Sham, formerly of the Sultan's Sworn. I thank you for agreeing to lend us your aid. Mayhap you'd like to appraise Rahana of his mission? Yes, of course. The petition in concern was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate concern at Copperbell Mines. I know it's a development, but I thought that since it's called Concern, I might put that in there as well. Why not? To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. These giants are a clan known as the Hecatoncheres. Fearsome creatures who are sealed within the deepest depths of the mine during the bygone Thorn dynasty. Alas, it seems they managed to break through the layer of rock which served to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures are justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of our ancestors, and their presence has forced the suspension of all mine activities. And yes, so you're going to be nice to them, right? And you're going to introduce trade and maybe make them feel better, despite the fact that your ancestors imprisoned them. It's no wonder they're angry. Didn't the Thorn dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? You know your history well, my lady. The people of that age used the Hecaton charade to work their mines by way of enchanted helms. They were able to bind the ferocious creatures to their will, but as is oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed, and the slaves rose up against their masters. In a desperate bid to contain the embroidered fury of the Hecaton charades, Hecaton, I think it's Hecaton, that makes sense, because like rock, like Hecaton, Megaton, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost levels. So, it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath 100,000 tons of rock. Well, now, that's got me thinking. I seem to recall there being an article about Copperbell in a Mythful Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mines are being reopened so as to meet the rising demand for building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a bit too deep and freed the giants. How do you do that? How do you end up, like, digging through many, many layers of rock and go, oh, wait, there's giants down here? God, to think that poor creatures are still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nurse a grudge. They must be seething. Again, we're going to be nice to them, right? And invite them into our culture and be like, hey, we're sorry for being assholes in the past. How about we change our ways now? Water under the bridge. Indeed, and that makes them a danger to us all. There will be no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. This is the task which we have you undertake. I'll not deny that the mission will be rife with danger, but our need is great, and so I beg you, put an end to this sorry business. Again, I think I forgot that this dungeon is not the one I was thinking about. This is a different dungeon, which means, yeah, this is going to be one of the more changed dungeons, if I remember correctly. Gods bless you. I feared you may have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. In case you don't know, Copperbell mines are on Western Fanalan. Do take care, you hear? Ah, and one last thing before you depart. An employer of Amagina and Sons is presently at a quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copperbell mines as well. It may behoove you to seek his counsel. So yeah, they're bringing up a mission here that doesn't necessarily feel entirely ethically correct. The giants have been in prison for 300 years and they are pissed off. And we come out of nowhere and we're like, okay, we're going to subdue them and kill them. Not necessarily very heroic, I would say. But we have to do it. Looking for Painted Mesa? You found him. So you're the adventurers volunteered to deal with the mess down in Copperbell, are you? Got guts, mate. Just hope you've got guts to skills to go with them. Because things ain't pretty down there. The Hecaton charades have left the place in a not right state, and now a week after mining resumed. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second old dynasty was still young, and it was abandoned centuries ago. If it hadn't been for the shortage of materials needed for the rebuilding effort, the concern would never have thought to reopen it. We know full well about the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain's worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong! Our miners dug up. Why are we getting this repeated? We just got told this. I guess we're getting more context as to why they've done this. One swing of the pickaxe too many, and they found themselves in the company of giants. Unless we can subdue the nation's glorious recovery or grind to a halt for one devoted to build with. The stone torches will keep watching over the entrance in case the giants fancy some sunlight and fresh air. One that will be able to show you in. I thought you were talking about actual stone torches, but they're fires. Okay, got it. The hope of the nation's resting on you, your friend. Best of luck. No pressure, mate. Yeah, thanks. I'll go deal with your problems. Yeah, in hindsight, like, this quest feels a bit morally wrong, but they provide some context for it, and there's some reasons as to why we're going to here to fight the giants. Oh, I just teleported here. I shouldn't have done that. Oops. Well, who really cares? Anyway, we're going to head over here. I'll see you guys at the mine. Isildur, an alien. I remember you guys before. You were outside of the other dungeon where you were like woken up and hurt. I've been an adventurer for long years and borne witness to many a pivotal moment in history. But the times may have changed, the essence of our trade has not. Adventuring has ever been a quest for self-betterment, through challenges freely faced, and ever shall it remain so. As an adventurer becomes more experienced, he will naturally acquire a love of justice, and an understanding of the spirit of self-sacrifice. Such experiences cannot be measured in any tangible way. It is most assuredly shapes who we are, grounded as it is in the decisions we have made in our journey and their consequences, good or ill. Sense the light within you, young one, and it tells me you are destined for greatness. I appreciate it, Isildur. You don't plan on dying anytime soon, do you? That sounds like a death speech, almost. We found Dolorous Bear and his entire party dead. The giants were thorough in their work. Holy shit, they just killed Dolorous Bear off screen! Oh my, I didn't even know that happened! No! Judging by their tracks, it would seem they tried to rush a horde of the creatures. I cannot say for sure what drove an experienced crew like theirs to throw caution to the wind, but I do have my suspicions. We are all our own worst critics, and our desire to better past achievements corrupts of our good senses. Thus we become more given to recklessness. While it is important to have goals, one must not fixate upon them to the exclusion of all else. Do so, and one will surely pay the price, as Dolorous Bear and his comrades did this day. Fuck! I don't even remember this. I mean, this is before I've read a lot more of the flavor text around the quests. But damn, he's just gone. He's just dead. Oh, there's been an incident inside Copperbell Mines. We're here to ensure that its effects are contained, but for your own safety, I suggest you stay well away from here. Oh, what? You're the event. Oh, what are you doing that text there, Flower? You're the adventurer who's gone to help with the heck on the charades? I don't think the Papa Chan will be able to find someone so quickly, if at all. The giants are content to wreak havoc inside the mines for now, but it's only a matter of time before they think to come outside. The sooner you see to them, the better. Make ready as best you can and enter at will. Why would I enter at will? What's will going to do with anything? Oh, you mean go in a dungeon? Oh, I see. Right, okay, we're going to do this. So, Copperbell Mines. Abandoned, once purged of ore, Copperbell Mines lays untouched for nigh on 3 centuries, until Amagina and Sons mineral concern reclaimed the shafts. The guild's sight set on expanding the mines downward in an attempt to tap yet undiscovered veins of valuable metal. Unfortunately, it was not the riches the powder kegs uncovered, but sheer terror, for when the smoke's cleared, outpoured an army of raging giants from the darkest recesses of the mine. The Hecaton Charades, foes of the lost Thorn dynasty, were at last free from their lightless prison, 300 years of hate fueling their madness. I think that's an understandable hate, and honestly, I wouldn't say there should be repercussions for it, but it makes sense why they're angry. We're gonna go with Eager Morder, all our boys again, and we got a male conjurer this time, okay. Maybe that other one with some Gridanian didn't want to go all the way over here for this mission. But here it is. So yeah, I thought this was a different dungeon, but this is one of the more greatly changed ones after Realm Reborn was reworked a little bit in the dungeon department. I think it's better now. The boss design is a lot better as well. I remember the original dungeon having some interesting boss-like mechanics, and they certainly changed that since then. But we're going to get into that here, I think, a little bit with this beautiful song called Below. I'm going to go kill some people. Look at that boy, look how happy he is to be in this mines. Wait, what? So I did unlock a skill, but I can't use it because level 26, we're in a level 16 dungeon. I'm kind of, you know, thinking about it, why the game does give you a dungeon in each region is a good way of acclimatizing you to dungeon mechanics, I think. Giving you multiple dungeons all at once. And it gives you a little piece of the story in each area. Like with the Sahagin in Limsa, or the Void Scent in Gridania. And then, of course, we have this stuff with the giants and the mines, and how everything in Older is not necessarily squeaky clean in terms of its history. There are bad things involved in its history. There's a whole plot point that's in another side quest about Older's sister nation called Sildar. And they went to war ages ago, and one of them won. One of them ended up victorious. So bye, guys. Bye. Bye. Wait. Oh, there we go. Okay, the game was smartly teleporting them down there. That's not what they would do with actual players, by the way. Everyone needs to be in the lift before you go down. What are you doing? Get out of each other. It's weird. But yeah, Sildar lost the war, and because of that, they are now buried in history. And there are people still from the Sildar nation in Older, and they go into that lower side quest plotline. It's very good. I always enjoy the sins of the past coming back to bite the present as a story, as a plot device, because it kind of makes you beg the question of whether the people who are currently in employment are the problem, or if it was the past. It kind of brings up a mirror and says, have we changed as people, and have we become better? And considering we've come here to kill the giants, I don't know about that. Oh, giants! It's a Hecaton Charade Stone Hauler! Oh god, one of the special ones. Here's our first giant lad. I'm sorry for killing you. I know you don't want to fight me. I mean, you do actually. You're very angry. He's a very angry boy. I would be angry too if I was stuck in a mine for 300 years. Nothing like a light bit of unjustified murder. I mean, it's kind of justified to a certain extent because the giants were probably going to leave the mines and cause terror on the surface, but it still feels a little unjustified considering what we've done to them in the past, the reason why they're angry, but maybe they would have been a problem nowadays anyway. You can tell the positioning of quest lines have definitely changed since then. And weirdly, I think Dawntrail has the opposite problem, where everything is being taught that everything needs to be squeaky clean. Like, oh, peace and preservation, we're gonna go that full in there. every nation's going to be good. Every nation's going to love us. And while the expansion does try and go a little bit into more morally grey kind of situations, like with actual giants in Dawn Trail, I kind of feel like the lack of conflict between the nations makes the plot less interesting. And it only really happens once outside of a couple of things in the Mamoja as well. But they don't really fight against you that much. It's just all like light fighting at best. I like Tural. I think Tural is a cool nation. But I just don't think it had the same impact on me as like Ishgard, because like you didn't really get a sense of the conflict there really. Everything kind of seemed squeaky clean and good because the nation was pretty prosperous before we arrived anyway. The only reason why things were going to have a spanner in the works was because a new successor was being chosen as the ruler. But again, with Ishgard and even Kagani to a certain extent, they were dealing with big conflicts. Garlemald, dragons. I think it makes them a lot more interesting that you can help them out and help them recover. So here's another mechanic that they kept. We picked up the fire stand. We've got to place it in the rock and then blow it up afterwards. There's, you know, a lot of busy work in the earlier dungeons, but again, I kind of do miss this a little bit. Like, yes, you just kind of want to get to the next boss encounter, and this feels like unnecessary padding, but it gave the dungeon more identity. Like, oh yes, it's a dungeon where you got to blow up walls to get through because it's a mine shaft. Of course, you need to blast things that are open. They've gotten like a little better at that, but I do miss some of the interactivity of some of the dungeons. The music took a while to start there. Oh, Tank Buster. So all the dungeon bosses I think in this one have all been changed since yeah, so we've got this move now. And it's a mechanic you gotta learn. You gotta be like, okay, we're gonna go over here and then stay over here and then move between them when you decide to move. Now unfortunately I can't hear him during this, so I've got some downtime when I can use my charge move. But that sort of mechanic would not be something that you'd see in earlier Realm Reborn. So it's kind of just showing off that a little bit here, I think, as well. Right. Assuming that my mic monitoring isn't very high right now, and I've just fixed it. Oh. Oh. Bastard. Why do you guys ever go over there first? I guess because it's safe. The AI in this game is pretty good, and it does actually fuck up sometimes on purpose if you're a healer, but less so when you're a DPS or tank. I like that. I like how the DPS is. Ooh. Where are you going for me, buddy? Bastard! I'm gonna hit you with my leg sweep. Didn't do anything. Just like other Final Fantasy bosses, anything that could cause a stat element does not work on bosses, because where would be the fun in that? I mean, it would have made fights a lot easier, I feel, right? You just put confusion and they just hit themselves. Level up. Nice. I want to grab this. We're going to go across the Silent Hill floor and open the sealed blasting door with a tiny key. Oh yeah, it's kind of like a Silent Hill floor. We're going to get some of those closers appearing and starting to go across them. They're called mandarins in Silent Hill 2, actually, not closers. I was pleasantly surprised when they showed up in Silent Hill 2 Remake. I was like, yeah, they're back! Oh, hold on. My blur effect wasn't on. For 20 minutes? Terrible. Unwatchable now without that blur effect. It's a very small thing, but I like having that on. So here's a cool room. We need to get enough fire sand to blow this up. But so you can choose what order you do the rooms in to get the fire sand. And there are enemies in each one, of course. Wait. Is there no fire sand? Oh no, we gotta kill them. That's how we get the fire sand. Now I remember how it works. Right, we've got the last bit of the fire sand and we can open the door. There's an argument to be made for both types of dungeon design, and I have just remembered, in Endwalker patches, as I've mentioned before, they introduced a thing called variant dungeons, which do have a lot more interactivity in them than these ones do. And they're designed to be open-ended, where you can do them in whatever order you see fit, and depending on your route, it will change the ending. And I've yet to do more of those actually at some point, so I might check them out at some point, or watch someone else do them. Because I don't know if I'm going to have time to do all the endings in that, but if I watch someone else do them, that might be more fun to do. And I can definitely see someone have like a highly edited playthrough on YouTube of that mechanic. So here's the dungeon, here's the boss that's completely changed, and I kind of miss, but I also don't miss, this giant slime. In the original version of the dungeon, you had to make it smaller. To do that, you would need to get these bomb enemies to be drawn towards it, and then they would blow up. And the enemy would divide into two enemies. Now, he just does this, and makes these slime things appear. I'd be like, but that sounds really interesting. It was, but it was also kind of a pain in the ass to draw the bomb towards the enemy, because like trying to grab aggro and then bring it over to the boss can be difficult. And there's a grace period after that as well, I think, if I remember correctly. But it's cool to see they change the boss. I think a lot of people may be sad about the change, but I remember that fight. I remember what it was like. I could be one of those people who were like, I fought doing the Copperbell mines mid-boss. I remember it. So Pugilist has some downtime, so I'm going to get my charge ready and then going for a big hit. That tends to be what you do while you're waiting for attacks, because you don't really have any ranging abilities as Pugilist. You can't throw your punches after all. Bastard. Oh, there we go. Should just follow the tank. And yeah, look, he's gone a lot smaller now that he's thrown a blob of his body. Wait, no, this wasn't part of the plan. Whoa! Right. Let's blow up a wall, shall we? Makes me wonder how they got past these walls if they weren't blowing up. Timber! Oh, they're fine. Oh yeah, then we go into the weird crystal area. I remember this. Let's see how many enemies you guys can take. So something I haven't actually explained, and it's worth explaining. The way you can tell what enemies are attacking who is determined by the color of their little icon up here. If they are green, they are not attacking you. If they are yellow, they are mid between attacking you and someone else. If they are red, they are attacking someone. They are attacking you. There's a different icon as well, and there's like a purple icon as well if they're attacking someone else, like another enemy. But yeah, basically, if you're a DPS or healer, you want to be in the green. You don't want to be in the red, because that means enemies are trying to kill you, and that is not good. You never really want to have enemies on you, and as a DPS, your role is to make sure the tank has all the aggro. There are multiple ways of doing that. The best way is, if you grab an enemy, is to run towards the tank. Don't start panicking. Run towards the tank, and their AoEs should pick up the enemy. Fingers crossed. Should just not worry about it, really. Uh-oh. That was a bad crumbly noise. Oh! It's a Hecaton charade Stonebreaker! One of the things I love about dungeon design in this game is that the dungeon changes as you go along. It's not all just a single, like, rocky mine shaft. It switches and kind of changes up as it goes along. Like, we went through the first part of the mine shaft, and the last part is this giant crystal maze, almost. It's very different in terms of textures, and you get a real sense of being in a different kind of environment. And, like, 14 has always been good at that, I would say. All the way to Dawn Trail, where the environment changes as you go along, and you get a lot of beautiful vistas in the dungeons. Like, they've always knocked out the park. Look at this, look how cool this looks. I'm not happy! Slaves no more! Free! Free! You You're definitely going to be free from this mortal coil in a minute. We're in a good guys, chat. Finally, I've been in that one for 300 years. Masters must pay. Masters must die. Never again, never. Let's kill this asshole. Let's kill this monster, guys. Let's go. Mangry! I forget how those bosses changes. So the way this fight would work in the original is it was really easy. Enemies would start appearing around him, but you just focus on the boss and you die before you can do anything. Now it's changed because it has more mechanics involved. Ooh! Damn! What skill? Wish I could do that, like hit the ground and the rest of the ground explodes around it. Oh, it's the first donut mechanic of the game. We're going to be getting a lot of donut mechanics in this as we go along. That was kind of shit, buddy. Kind of bad. Right, limit break. Oh! Oh, bad time for limit break. Oh, that's fine. Okay, we're good. Mangry! 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 So you don't really want to be standing next to the tank. It's always worth going behind the boss because he could do a tank buster that isn't going to be targeted just at the tank. There's going to be a trial we're going to do later where that is more of a problem and you don't want to be in front of the boss for that. But we're done. Yeah, we leveled up for murder. No, wait! My freedom! Don't smile at the end of this for Hana. God damn it, they could have made it the sad one. Look at this monster! This, like, terrible human being. They could have used a sad one there too. Hi. Hi. How's it going? Oh, I got below. Do I already have below? I do. Well. Right, back to the painted messer. Black messer. Teleportation, go! Why are you all glowing right now, painted messer? What's going on here? I just walked back. I don't remember this. Battlefield 1.x? Ah, the Conqueror of Copperbell returns. Thanks to you, our mining operations can resume and Aldo have the materials he needs to rebuild. The entire nation's in your debt, friend. I'll share the good tidings with Papa Shan the next time I see him. As for you, I want to report to Imodi. You're doing well to see you alive and in one piece. He's literally right behind you. Right now. No! Oh, what's going on? Rahana right to the action. Shut your mouth, you thieving little swine. You stole from me. Don't even think to deny it. Who the fuck are you? Please, sir, I didn't steal nothing. I bought this, paid for it with my own coin. What rot? You refugees are all the same. Couldn't afford maggoty mole meat unless there's a choice of kind of dodo. Wait, dodo still exist in this world? Gonna say it one more time. Give back what you stole, or I'll make you wish you'd never set foot in this town. Rahana has entered the chat room. By rights, I shall turn you over to the brass blades, you know. I'll keep the streets safe for law-abiding citizens, but I'm a reasonable man. If you agree to serve me in whatever capacity I require, the authorities needn't hear of your crime. Get absolutely clotheslined by me in a second, don't you worry. He's just doing this with a crowd around him. Like, where are the guards? But I ain't done nothing wrong. 12 of me is mid-witness. Oh, we can't help you. We're just here. Also, that guy's a copy of the other guy. Hi. Please, adventurer, help me, I beg of you. I swear my mother's grave I didn't steal nothing. I bought this with the coin I'd saved. I only want to treat my children to a decent meal. Oh, and you have children. Well, I've got to help you then. This is like as cliche as you can get in terms of defending a damsel in distress. She's literally like the definition of a damsel. And who the hell are you when you're? And who the hell are you when you're at home? This dog's master. I'm going to enjoy punching your face across the stratosphere. Enough of this mummer's farce. You lot, teach him a lesson. Oh, you want to go? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get very angry right now. Oh, I'm going to spam F1. Oh, we're not in the combat yet. Hold on. Game? Mangry! 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 Let's go. I'll take care of this. The rest of you can watch. It's also different? I don't remember this fight at all. They might have changed this, to be fair. Not bad. For an adventurer. Oh, you've also got punky fists. Oh, I should have stopped at the 7th ale. You could say you're in 7th heaven right now. Stop bloody gawping at me and hit me with you. Oh, bugger, bugger, bugger! Oh, he's dead. Damn, they are far weaker than his friends. You were saying? Bitch. He just got behind. Damn, Bahana. Those have got spikes on the end too. I ain't getting played enough for this. Well, where the hell do you think you're going? Thank you, kind adventurer. Thank you, fight over. Now you go back home. Oh. 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 Oh yeah, this cutscene. I'd swear there are more refugees than when I last looked. And he wouldn't be mistaken. I'm going to give a bunch of exposition. But it's been 5 years since the calamity. Why are they only coming here now? It's simple, really. While a number of hamlets survived the immediate aftermath of the calamity, many were no longer able to support their communities. Residents found their lands had either been rendered barren or cut off from trade routes, and problems like those aren't easily solved. Though they tried to make the best of it, it was only a matter of time before they were forced to abandon their homes and seek a new life in the city. I see. But the calamity affected the whole realm, didn't it? Is the same thing happening in the other cities? If the talk is true, yes. Though perhaps our situation is more pronounced. Alder has a reputation for being prosperous, so it's natural the rest of the refugees would try their luck here first. My heart goes out to them, it truly does, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't apprehensive. That the presence doesn't foment lawlessness in the city. There's not really a whole lot you can do about that, I feel. Well, if things do take a turn for the worse, we always have the immortal flames. I dare say the brass blades would welcome their help. The heroes who fought the Gridanian Empire, patrolling the streets for riffraff? It may well come to that. Impoverished and desperate as they are, you may be sure that some of the refugees will turn to crime. You know what this place is like. You've no coin, you've no hope. What will become of our city? Not all refugees are bad, mind you. Some are able to find employment and lead honest lives. Dodo tenderloins, get your dodo tenderloins, guaranteed cheapest in Fanalan. Oh, it's her. Thank you for your custom, madam. Please come again. Looking around, you think that Alder was well on its way to victory. But peer through the veil of prosperity and you'll see no end to the misery and suffering. What was that echo for? I guess it was showing how bad the calamity has hit us. Oh, sir, are you alright? Sorry, I was lost in my eyes for a second. Not your eyes, my eyes. What now? You mean to threaten a defenseless citizen? Yes. I mean, that's what you were doing. What? Sorted by the meat, you say? Oh, that's absurd. What's going on in the background with these Makotes right now? Also, I see that. I see you, Ida, behind that sign, right in front of us. Aye, as I did. Leave the poor little woman alone, you damnable vulture. Who said that? I think it was Ida who said that. Was that Ida who said that? I will overlook this, but just this once. Who was this man? God bless you, Adventure. If you hadn't come along when you did, who knows what that monster might have done. It don't bear thinking about. I'm here to help. Good job, Vahana, you did it. Being a hero is a hard work. Especially those echoes. Case closed. Hello again. We have been keeping a close eye on you ever since you left Gridania. You discharged your duty as Envoy impeccably, and never once faltered in the face of myriad dangers. But more importantly, you were always ready to help those in need, even if you didn't stand to earn a guild by doing so. You are possessed of all the qualities we seek in an adventurer. Of this we are convinced. That you came all the way to Gridania to confirm this too. Even if you were kind of dragged into the business of that dodo meat. Yes, thank you, Ida. And then there was the matter of your gift. I dare say you are curious as to the nature of the vision you bore witness to moments ago. Well, we can help you to understand it. You're not the only one with the power, you know. We have a friend who has it too, and we'd love for you to meet her. I cannot wait to meet her either. And meeting her is only the beginning, for we would have you lend your strength to our cause. In return, we should be glad to assist your venturing endeavours in whatever way we are able. Should you decide to take us up on our offer, I sincerely hope you will. Pray speak of Modi. The proprietor of the Swickstand is a good friend of ours. She will tell you where to find us. And pray return. And pray return we shall. Wait a minute. We haven't even told you the name of our order. We're the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, Defenders of Justice. Oh, but don't tell anyone. Except for Modi, she knows already. I didn't realise it was like a secret, but I guess it is. And pray return we shall, where we're going to go and meet with Ida and Papalimo at the hideout of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I'll see you guys there for part 3, where we meet a bunch of great characters who are going to be around, mostly, for the rest of the game. See you guys then.